Salvē, fellow, and welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at John chapter 4, verses 16 through, if I can find, there it is, 17. And that's about as far as we're going to make it today. Here's our rubric, everything we're looking for. Let's go ahead and get started. Dicit e Jesus, vade voca viram tuum, et veni huc. Respondet mulierem, et dixit, non habeo viram. Dicit e Jesus, bene dixisti, quia non habeo viram. That's as far as we're going to go. Very first word we've seen many times. No need to bother with that or with that one either. It's just the demonstrative. Jesus with our US right there is, of course, our subject. Jesus says present historic to her. Quote. Wade. Here we have a E, and this comes from wado, wadere, wasi. So this is a third declension, a short E, and therefore this is a second person singular, and it is present, active, imperative. And this one means to go, to walk, and it has the idea of move with haste. Okay, woka, this is from woko, wokare. This is a first conjugation, so that long A right there is going to be another second person singular, present, active, and imperative. This one, of course, means to call, to summon. Viram here from vir, viri, a R stem first and R stem second declension. And with the UM, we know that this is going to be accusative, singular, and it is, of course, a masculine word. Tuum there as the adjective, possessing it, matching it in case, number, and gender. At ins our clause, so we can go ahead and piece this one together. Let's say go quickly. Go quickly, call your. And then viram can mean man, or it's also the word that they used for husband. So the context here seems to indicate husband. Et and venire. This is a force. That long I right there is yet another one of these imperatives. So I'm just going to pull that over. And then hook. Hook is a locative adverb, if you will. It just tells us a location, and it means to here. So instead of to here, because that's awkward in English, I'm going to go with back here. Okay, and that's end of that. So it looks like with this verb, he is done speaking. Into no normal phrase, and so responded. It could be a present or a perfect, as we've seen many times before. So we're going to go ahead and grab our Greek. Where did I put it? That is not the right Greek page, because it is over here. And we're going to take a look at what the tense is there. So we have apokryphe, and that's aorist tense, so responded is probably going to be perfect tense. Should really just assume at this point. Mulier is of course nominative, singular, and feminine. It is mulier, mulieris. It is a third declension. Okay. Woman. When responded, and dixit said. Looks like we have direct discourse here again. So non-negative habeo, that O right there is just our first principal part of that verb. So first, singular, present, active, and indicative. I do not have viram, same form as that. And direct discourse with dicit again. Same exact phrase as that, so we don't need to do any of these. Looks like direct quote starts here. Jesus says to her. It's interesting that She has the perfect tense verb. Perfect tense. Jesus is present in present tense. And that is the same way in the Greek. This is very odd. I don't know what's going on there. But bene, well, dixisti. So this isti is our second person singular off of the perfect stem. It's active and indicative. You, yeah, let's go with have. Have said well. And we have quia here showing that we have a quote, and he's just going to be quoting what she says right there, that. And you don't always need to translate this type of quia. Non habeo virum, same thing that we saw before, no need to parse it again. It's just that I do not have husband. Interesting variation between the Greek and our Latin here is that the Greek actually puts virum first in this clause, even though it has the same pattern as right there. So Jesus, at least in the Greek, he's putting more emphasis on the man because the husband is put first. Usually the word that appears first in Greek and in Latin is going to be the most emphatic unless the sentence is following the standard word order for either Latin itself or whatever language it is mimicking, usually Hebrew. So that is verses 16 and 17. Let's go ahead and take a look at them in their own context and then from verse 7. Jesus says to her, "Go quickly call your husband and come back here." Woman responded and said, "I do not have husband." Jesus says to her, "You have said well that I do not have husband." Yeah, makes sense. So now from verse 7. Woman comes down from Samaria to draw water. Jesus says to her, "Give to me to drink." For his disciples had gone away into city in order that they might buy food. Therefore a woman says to him, that Samaritan one, "How do you, although you are a Jew, ask earnestly from me to drink, who am a Samaritan woman? For Jews do not have dealings with Samaritans." Jesus responded and said to her, "If you knew gift of God, and who it is who says to you, 'Give to me to drink,' you yourself perhaps would ask from him, and he would give to you living water." Woman says to him, "Lord, you do not indeed have something in which you may draw, and well is deep. From where, therefore, are you having living water?" "Surely you are not greater than our father Jacob, who gave to us well, and himself drank from it, and his sons and his flocks?" Jesus responded and said to her, "Everyone who drinks from this water will thirst again. Who, however, will have drunk from water which I myself will give to him will not thirst forever into forever. But water which I will give to him will be in him fountain of springing water into eternal life." Woman says to him, "Lord, give to me this water in order that I do not thirst and not come hither to draw." Jesus says to her, "Go quickly call your husband and come back here." Woman responded and said, "I do not have husband." Jesus says to her, "You have said well that I do not have husband." And there we have it. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope taking a look at this has been helpful for you, and I hope you have a very good day. Wale.
What? You're still awake? Why are you still here then? You should be reading a book. Or if not reading, you should watch one of these other videos. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. See you next week.